And hello, today on the testing speaker thing, the Jet Black from Bad Cat, possibly the most rock and roll amp that they have. Possibly, we're still trying to find out which of these, it's behind me right there, which of these 5 amps is for what. So, Bad Cat is also sponsoring this video. I need to say this for legal reasons, but it's also true. All the sounds you're hearing, all those other sounds that you're hearing, I'm not crawling into your ears and I'm changing things in there. That's not possible. I cannot possibly change these sounds in ways that would be dishonest. I mean, I'm telling you what mics I'm using. There's none or very little processing, maybe some, compression, but probably not on there. Talking about the mics, it's a Royer R10. Thank you, Sweetwater, for sending that. That's a ribbon mic. And this good old 57 there, which is what you use, a ribbon and a 57, on a cab. That's a V30 cab. So, but before we can do anything and find out how rock and roll is it, we're going to have to take it out of the box, which I clearly already have done, but we're going to travel back in time and do that now.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Obviously, you don't want to sit through this whole video. You're just interested in some sounds. So we're going to give you some sounds and some stunningly produced product shots of this baby. Obviously, because you have no time to waste and you want to hear it in a track, my good friend Tom James created this stunning jam track that I played badly over. Just turned it on, noodled. Let's see how inspiring this thing is when you just noodle. Now you've seen and heard everything. You're still here because now you're like, maybe I want to buy this. So they all clock in, all 5 amps, around 2,000, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less, depending on where you are. You might be in Nicaragua, might be a bit more. Who knows? Or maybe a little bit less. I don't know the amp prices in Nicaragua. Couple of things. I mean, I've said this a million times now because I've done a million Bad Cat videos. But a couple of things about the company. Bad Cat used to be an amazing company. Now they're still amazing. But they kind of always look a bit matchlessy. Maybe they're related to that. I probably are, and I'm too dumb to know this. But I met John Thompson from Bad Cat at NAMM with my friend Melissa Henderson. We went to the booth. She played beautiful stuff, and we were all like, my God, it's so good. And she was like, that's so good. And John Thompson was like, she plays. And we all were nice to each other. They made good amps. But nothing ever really happened on the channel with them. And then my friend Peter Ahrens took over as CEO a few years ago. And together with the team and John, they kind of revamped the production process and the DNA of the amps. So they're still the amps that they were, just in a way better, more efficient. Efficiency is one word that we use here. Now, this is the only one that's bottom loaded instead of top loaded. So the panel is at the bottom. I don't know why on this and not on the others. I have no idea. But all the chassis, so all the wooden boxes, Baltic birch, by the way, are the same. So your toe legs, one thing. You have a cutting pattern for the toe legs for one thing. You have the same handles. Everything is the same for the whole range, which makes it more efficient. Peter is all about German efficiency. So, efficiency planken, if you know what I mean. Wir planken der efficiency.
Ja.
Yeah, says Andrew Morgan, who isn't switching this Morgan, but today. That's a German joke. Look it up. God, why are you watching this? So, I amuse myself. And you know, if that happens, it's all I need. Maybe I make these videos for myself. Efficiency. All the chassis, all the metal boxes are the same. Some of them have all the same holes. So it's the innards, the guts, that of course are tweaked and different in different tubes and different transformers and all that stuff. But if you make the boxes the same, you have the same dust cover. You only order one batch of all the same size. This brings down the price for you and does nothing to the quality. So you can get these rather technically highly engineered and high-priced amps at $2,000. Any other company might have to add a little bit because there's, just more different shapes and sizes. They're all the same shape. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's efficient. In the back, if we look at it, it actually looks exactly like all the other amps, just upside down. We've got 5 different cab outs and a line out. We've got a send and return, buffered, of course, and then a foot switch connection. All the foot switches Andrew's freaking on it. He knows where we're going. All the foot switches are the same size, just different labeling, which means they produce one foot switch and print different things on it. On this one, we got channel and we got tremolo. Tremolo. Because this amp, for some rock and roll reason, has tremolo. We have a TC2290P in the effects loop to test the effects loop and also to have some delay if we are running higher gain sounds, because you don't want your time-based effects before you drive unless you have, let's say, like an analog delay with a high-frequency roll-off, stuff like this, complicated things. D'Addario Accelerate is my loop of choice, if you know what I mean. More pedaling shit, chicken picks are good. Also, Mr. Gugu sweaters, link below. If you want to have, balloon dogs on you, you get 20% off with my coupon code. I don't get anything, but I do get the sweaters, so that's not get anything. I actually do get the sweaters. Efficiency, all that. This is possibly the most rock amp they make. It kind of picks up where the Black Cat leaves off. Black Cat has the most chimey chimes out there. And then some great rock sounds. But if you want more rock, maybe if you're doing the more rock and roll or punk, I would say the Black Cat is rock and roll, and this is rock. whatever that means. Putting names on things is difficult, so I'm going to read you some stats and then hopefully you know something. Custom Batcat transformers. These stats on here are 3 times longer than on everything else because on this stat page, they gave me stats they don't give on the other amps. The website is really pretty, but doesn't really tell you a lot, which is why we need those videos. Jet Black is the name. Custom Batcat transformers. They're actually, if you see in the back, which you can't on this one. You see it. Well, yeah, they're orange, which is weird because the company is not orange. I'm pretty sure orange transformers are black. 38 watts, which is not very British, martially. I'm going to say this is the most martial of them, which is, of course, dumb because it's a Batcat, 38 watts, 4 EL84 power tubes. Oh, that's interesting. It's not 34s. Because these things technically don't matter too much. And that's just my personal experience. It tells you something, but really it tells you nothing. So 4 EL34 power tubes, 3 12AX7 tubes, 2 channels with independent volume and master. But of course, volume, where is it? Volume and master. So this is all upside down. On the others, the reverb's on the back, on the right, and volume and masters on the left. So if you, for example, look at the Black Cat, it's literally reversed because they just took the chassis and flipped it upside down. So we have gain, master, treble, middle, bass, tremolo, reverb. So it's literally the opposite of the other amps because they didn't redesign this. They just flipped it around for reasons I don't know. But instead of gain and volume, they have volume and master for each. Could also be gain and master. The function is gain and the function is how loud is it. Bass, middle, treble, studio quality reverb. I've said this several times already. That simply means that it's not a spring reverb. It means a digital reverb, like in a studio. But that's not a bad thing. It sounds really nice when you hear studio quality reverb. They're trying to avoid saying it's digital because some of you out there will frown upon that with your little me. But it sounds really, really good. Bias modulated tremolo, which is weird on a more rock amp, these amps are usually more down to earth and simple. But I'm thinking because the DNA that it has is based on the Black Cat, they just left the tremolo in there and said, if you don't want to use it, don't cry about it, just don't use it. Then you're going to cry about it and say, but I paid for it, but I'm not using it, so I paid more. Why do I know these things? Because I read all of your comments. Yes, all of them. Buffered effects loop. That means there's something going on with ohms, and shut up about it is a good thing. Unless you're running some kind of fuzz, and why would you run that in the effects loop? Yeah, idiot. Individual speaker outs. Well, obviously, we just looked at that. Line out, I told you. 2-button foot switch, channel select. We've already covered this. Baltic birch cabinet. It's not on any of the other spec pages, but on here, they really want you to know. 5-year limited warranty. They're not writing that on any other amp's spec sheet. Shouldn't we know that in general? Work on the website. Not you guys, them. There's the dimensions. There's weight. It's 31 pounds. What does that tell me? Nothing. I'm in Europe. I don't do pounds. 48 pounds for the combo. I don't have that. Celestian Vintage 30 in the combo. Also in this cab. And the cab sounds huge and pretty damn good. One of the better sounding cabs that I've ever had. So yeah, I wish that stayed here. But sadly, it don't. And don't. 2-button foot switch included. Now, we talked about the company, we talked about the specs, I bored you with all this stuff, now we're going to get to sounds. How are we going to do those sounds? Well, with Sully. John Sullivan sent me his Trella 71, and it's gorgeously purple. It's got a volute, it's got hip shut open geared locking tuners, it's got Grover Jackson pickups, it's got call tap, it's got hollow inlays. But the most important thing is, it's one of the best guitars I've ever owned. It has a 25.5 inch scale, which means it is snappy. and Strat-like, while it's thick and sustainy, Les Paul-like. It is not a Strat, it's not a Les Paul. You know what it is? It's a Sully 71 Trella, and it's an absolutely phenomenal guitar. If you can get your hands on one and you play it, you will sell your children to get one. Trust me, this is one of the most stunning instruments I have ever owned. So, here's reverb. You can have a little bit in it. We have the clean channel, or... Oh, I'm going to unplug the foot switch. That's easier. Yeah, oh. Stop. Because now I can do this here. We're at about 10 o'clock. And I'm on the tappy here. I'm trying to be funky and I'm not. Can I get more meat there without distortion? That's awesome. Okay, let's be not funky. That hollow spank when you really dig in, that's the guitar. It's beautiful. We're going to put a Galaxy tape delay in front of it. Hamburger. Oh my God, is that fun? Oh my God, is that beautiful? Oh my God. And I'm saying that, and I don't even have a God. That's weird. Maybe that's it. That's my new God. No, not doing a God, but that's, oh my God. I might become religious playing this amp. That's pretty impressive. The thing that is special about the EQ section is that it is not a tone stack like we're used to, it being kind of in front of the gain stages in the tubies, because what happens is you're really shaping the distortion more then you're shaping the sound. You know, how does it distort and in what frequency ranges does it distort? But when you're putting it behind everything right before the power amp, what happens is it's more like a studio EQ. So therefore, you kind of have your whole distortion shaped and all that, and you then have all the overtones and the harmonics, and you're then going more or less in the 3 different frequency ranges, bass, middle, and treble. And that's what that is doing. So let's check on that with this setting. Which is why it is more effective, le effective in French, than another EQ section on other amps, unless they're also doing that. So, that being said, how far can I push the gain? You know, songs. Well, we're gonna do this one because it's always fun. I'm playing around. I'm having fun. It's nice. It's not too much gain. It's just open. I love that reverb. We're going to put the TC delay in the effects loop. That's what we call fun, or having fun with an amplifier. Holy... Love that! Pedals! Green thing! gonna push this back up and with the green thing. Oh, the delay was still in there. Not with the green thing, but with the Archer Cloney thing. And that is the clean channel. And I put some delay on. Now it's kind of even boring. Tremolo. Oh. I'm having a bit of fun! Completely useless sound. Why am I saying that? So, very simple. Because this is ultra rhythmic. Not logarithmic, ultra rhythmic. And the only way for you to use that is you're giving the tempo for the band, right? Well, that would mean that your drummer has to hear that. You has to get that tempo. When can your drummer actually put himself perfectly in time on the rhythm of your tremolo? He would have to have they would have to have you in their ear perfectly. Now, if you are, let's say, starting a song without that, and you're somewhere and it's all good and the drummer is in tempo and it might even be kind of the tempo that you had set up. Once you kick that in, it's going to be nowhere where it needs to be. It might be the same tempo, but the 0 point of the waveform is not on the downbeats or the eighth notes or where it needs to be. So even though it's the same tempo, the trigger, the 0 point, is in the wrong spot. So this is amazing, but if you listen to Bullet Dreams of Broken Parts, in that song, that's only that tremolo, that starter tremolo is only in the intro and outro without any band playing over it because it was probably recorded separately. Now, if you have a sound like this and you're recording it and that is the basis for your song and the rest of the band's putting themselves on top of it in the studio, it can work. But putting this on top of an already recorded track is massively difficult. And you're not going to hit the tempo. It's going to run out of sync. You're going to need massive editing and time stretching. In a live situation, probably not going to happen. Now, this is so inspiring and this is so cool. And I'm absolutely in love with it. It is pretty useless in that setting. But once I sing to it, it's great. Can the rest of the band sing to it? Hell no! So, don't use it like that. This was all just channel 1, right? Delay off. That's thicker. It's not, it's more mid-honky, gain-wise. Much more low-endy there for the clean. Okay, just checking where it takes over. It's not very metal mega gain yet, but it's what I would expect from like an 800. The low end, the definition, my notes are still there. It's of course not an 800, it's 38 watts something. It's not 800 watts like the 800. For shits and giggles, let's push that even more with the Troop Screamer. Damn, those tuners are good. This is not a high gain amp. It's a rock beast though. So how's it go? I don't know how it continues. No, that's a different thing. I'm thinking of this. A gate would have been a good idea. The Lynx has it, this doesn't. Put a gate in the effector because right now we're pushing it pretty hard there. Pretty stunning for the punk and things. Wow, it's just rock. Okay, now for leads, that's a lot of bass. Gonna put some reverb in it, put some delay in it. For leads, I'm assuming we're missing a bit of that push over the cliff in terms of the game, but we're gonna try. Let's do this one. That's a Voxish, chimey clean if I've ever heard one. And then the rock is there. If you want the screaming leads, you can push it over the cliff with a boost. If you want to, call me, you're paid chill, you're not saying anything negative about these amps because they paid you, go right ahead. But if these amps have nothing negative, then what am I going to say? Okay, I'm gonna throw in some negative things. Does this type of amp need the trem? No. Is it super fun? Yes. For the cleans, absolutely. So why not have it in there? The reverb is good. I would prefer maybe more gain, but then I'm making it an amp that it's not, so that's not the point. I can easily push it with something. I would like a noise gate, because by itself, if I'm really pushing it, there's noise happening. Might also be my setup, and there's cameras and lights and everything around here. And there's an amp over there where I changed the knobs already, where that has all the gain, that has a noise gate. So this one doesn't, and I wish they had added that maybe in the back. But other than that, these are all around $2,000. You're getting an amazing rock amp. The cleans are just redonkulous with the right guitar. I have to say that, some guitars might be pushing it too hard or not hard enough or whatever. But this is a rock and roll masterpiece. All 5 amps from Bad Cat are brilliant in their own right. The differences are small sometimes and sometimes bigger. You want more California mid-scoop. You want less California mid-scoop. You want it more chimey and really classic Liverpoolish. Then they have an amp for you with the Bad Cat DNA in it. You want it more Marshall-y, but also Liverpool. Whatever is right between Milton Keys and Liverpool, that's where that amp sits. Made by, well, actually, that's interesting. It's the axis of awesome. It's like Liverpool is up here, Milton Keys is here, so that's Vox and Marshall, and that amp is really just in the middle. And then Germany is over here, and there's a German engineer behind it, but there's also an American engineer behind it from over here. So if you connect the dots, you have this worldwide mega axis of awesome. Smack there. That's where that amp is. Between California, Germany, Liverpool, and Milton Keys. And it's got cats inside. If you want the sweater, link below. Everyone else always asks me where you can get the sweaters. Links below. Use a coupon code. You get percentage off. I don't get paid, but I get sweaters. So thank you for supporting me there. I put links below to wherever you can buy these. Use them. That also supports me. If you got more questions, there's a video of comparison of all of them coming. And we put animals at the end as always.